Hello students, very good morning to all of you. Today we are going to start our another chapter of your PT second syllabus, that is his first flight. So open your books at page number 84. Okay, it is your 7th chapter, but it is your second chapter of PT second syllabus. So the name of the chapter is his first flight. Okay, so flight means उड़ान, उसकी पहली उड़ान. ठीक है, flight is your noun and fly is your verb. So fly से क्या बनता है, flight बन गया. ठीक है, उड़ान, पहली उड़ान. Let's see what is the story all about. So the writer of the story is you can see here there is a brief introduction about the story. Liam O'Flaherty, okay, 1896 to 1984, means he was born in 1896 and he was he died in 1984, was an Irish novelist. He was an Irish novelist and a short story writer, okay, who is remembered for his powerful and strong writing voice. Okay, so Liam O'Flaherty was known as a short story writer and he was a novelist, Irish novelist, who is remembered for his powerful and a strong writing voice. Okay, and his first flight is a chapter which is a true parable. Parable here means a simple story used to illustrate a moral or you can say spiritual lesson, right, about overcoming fears in life. And we also face these types of problems, these types of circumstances which is here highlighted in this story. Even a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. You know that? But that step is the most difficult one to make. Means to make or to to initiate is important. Okay, it requires a lot of courage to start off. Okay, once we conquer the fear and take the first leap, and when we take the first step, we realize that we were born with wings. So when we get started or when we start doing any act, then when we are involved in that task, then it becomes so easy or it becomes smooth for us to do the task or act, right? Then Liam O'Flaherty was a keen observer of sea life and he believed that humans could learn a lot from nature. Yes, of course, we can learn a lot of things from nature. He has given a humane touch to the seagull's plight so that the readers identify it and connect with the nervousness they too might experience before doing something new. So it's always a journal that when we start or do a new task, then we hesitate at that moment. Okay, we all hesitate. We all have some nervousness. We feel hopeless when we start a new innovative act or any activity, right? So this chapter is all about a seagull. Seagull actually is a bird which lives near sea shore. जो समुद्र के आसपास जो birds होती हैं, seagull, वो ज़्यादातर वहीं पाई जाती है. So this story is all about a seagull. Okay, and the situation, the difficult situation. Plight means a difficult situation. So in this story there is a seagull and he hesitates and he is not ready to fly, to take his first flight. He feels nervous, he is hopeless and he is not gathering enough boldness or courage to take his first flight. So this is a story and now I will just read the paragraph and then will explain you in my own words. So look at your books now. Okay, the young seagull was alone in his ledge. His two brothers and his sister had already flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to the brink of the ledge and attempted to flap his wings, he became afraid. The great expanse of sea stretched down beneath, and it was such a long way down, miles down. He felt certain that his wings would never support him. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. So what happens in the story? There is a seagull and young seagull. Okay, young seagull. I already told you, seagull is a bird who lives near the seashore. समुद्र के आसपास जो इलाके होते हैं वहाँ पर ये bird पाई जाती है. So what happens there is a young seagull and he was alone, and he has two brothers and some sisters. They had already flown away the day before. ठीक है, लेकिन but the young seagull was staying at the same place. There is a word ledge. Ledge, you can see it is also written, meaning ledge means a narrow horizontal surface projecting from a wall, cliff or other surface. As you can see in the picture, you can see on the next page there is a seagull, a young seagull, and he is standing. This area actually is your ledge. Okay, एक छोटा सा मतलब narrow type area होता है which has from where we can see the whole sea. Okay, the small space which is this, okay, as you can see in the picture, is called your ledge, and it is from the back side it has a great mountain, or you can say wall of a mountain wall. So this is your ledge. Okay, so he was just sitting on the ledge, and he was observing that his brothers and sisters had flown away, but he was afraid to fly. He was hesitant to fly. Okay, young seagull was not ready to fly, and he also attempted flap his wings. He also flapped his wings. यानी जो विंग्स हैं, जो उसके पंख हैं, उसको वो फड़फड़ा तो रही थी, लेकिन he was not able to fly at all. And as you can see, there was a vast sea in front of the ledge. ledge के सामने बहुत बड़ा समुद्र होता है, समुद्र. तो he was very nervous, and he also bent his head, and when he was not able to fly, then he went back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. Next paragraph, look at the next page. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings and flew away, he failed to muster up courage to take that plunge which appeared to him so desperate. His father and mother had come around, calling to him shrilly, scolding him, threatening to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. But for the life of him, he could not move. So what the seagull observed, that his all brothers and sisters, even though they were having short wings, but they managed to fly. His brothers and sisters managed to fly. They have flown away. And on the other hand, the young seagull was not able to find, or was not able to collect the enough courage to fly in the sky. Okay, there is a word muster. Muster means, it is also written gather the courage. Okay, gather. and shrilly is a word you can see. So then his parents also came and they scolded him. They actually chided him, okay, with a heavy and loud noise, threatening him. और उसको ये भी चेताया, धमकाया कि अगर तुम नहीं उड़ोगे देन यू विल बी स्टार्विंग, तो तुम भूख से यहीं मर जाओगे. अनलेस यू फ्लाई, जब तक कि तुम नहीं उड़ते हो तो तुम्हें कुछ भी खाने को नहीं मिलेगा. So like that his parents also scolded him, threatened him, and but even though after all he was not able to fly at all. Third paragraph देखिए, that was 24 hours ago. Since then nobody had come near him. The day before, all day long he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sisters, perfecting them in the art of flight, teaching them how to skim the waves and how to dive for fish. He had, in fact, seen his older brother catch his first herring and devour it, standing on a rock, while his parents circled around raising a proud cackle. And all the morning the whole family had walked about on the big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, laughing at his cowardice. So what happened again? It was 24 hours ago when all his brothers and sisters had flown away from him, and his parents were also there with them. They were teaching his brothers and sisters how to fly, how to have a strong flight, and how to catch the fish diving into the water. So they were teaching their children, okay. And young seagull also saw that his older brother was catching a fish, okay. And there is a word herring. Herring is a word here, you can see Herring. Herring means a small silvery fish. So, and devour means lalach se khana. So what he observed, actually his older brother was trying to catch a herring, a silvery fish, and he was eating it, okay, with hunger, standing on a rock, while his parents were also there, circled, and they cackled. Cackle means laugh in a loud and harsh way. So his parents were also laughing by seeing all these scenes, okay. And sorry, and the whole family walked about on the big plateau midway down the cliff, opposite cliff. इसके just opposite में वो लोग आ गए थे एक plateau पे, and they were just making fun of this young seagull and his cowardice. Cowardice means not brave, fearless, okay, lack of bravery, right? So next page, come on to the next page. So here, now see, look at your books. The sun was now ascending the sky, blazing warmly on his ledge that faced south. He felt okay, so where I was, yes, blazing warmly on his ledge that faced south. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. Then he had found a dried piece of mackerel's tail at the far end of his ledge. Now there was not a single scrap of food left. He had searched every inch, rooting among the rough dirt-caked straw nest where he and his brothers and sisters had been hatched. Hatched का मीनिंग होता है जब जो एग्स होते हैं उनसे बेबीज जो होते हैं वो बाहर निकाले जाते हैं, ठीक है, हैचिंग, ओके. जो चिक्स होते हैं वो अंडे से जब बाहर निकलते हैं तो उसको हैचिंग बोलते हैं. ही इवन gnawed at the dried pieces of eggshell, it was like eating part of himself. So in this paragraph, actually the sun was setting down, and it was warm enough on the ledge where the seagull was there, and he felt that the heat was there, and he had not eaten since last night. Okay, so he was not able to eat anything until he flies. So then he found a dried piece of mackerels, is a type of fish. Okay, so there were some dried pieces of mackerel tail at the far end of his ledge. He tried to eat them, but there was no single scrap of food left. लेकिन वहाँ पर कुछ भी नहीं था, एक सिंगल टुकड़ा भी, एक पीस भी फूड का नहीं था. एंड उसने बहुत सारा सर्च किया. ही फाइंड आउट एवरीवेयर if there is something to eat. Okay, he also searched in his dry nest. Straw means जो dried grains होते हैं, nest, उसमें भी उसने search किया. And where जहाँ पर where he and his brothers and sisters had been hatched. So he found out everywhere the food to eat, and he even gnawed means देखिए bite or nibble at something, at the dried pieces of eggshell. And भूख की वजह से वो इतनी जो है तड़प रही थी कि he also tried to eat some eggshells जो एंड की outer coverings होती हैं, he tried to eat them, but it was no use of eating those eggshells. Okay, then he had then trotted back and forth from one end of the ledge to the other, his long grey legs stepping daintily, trying to find some means of reaching his parents without having to fly. But on each side of him the ledge ended in a sheer fall of precipice with the sea beneath, and between him and his parents there was a deep wide crack. So in this paragraph he was moving from from one end to the other end. He was very desperate, hopeless. Okay, trotted means move fast, lifting the legs. Okay, trotted is a word here, to move by lifting your legs. So the seagull was very much desperate. He was losing his hope because there was nothing to eat, and he was trying to also to reach with his parents. Okay, to reach to his parents. There is a word which is daintily. It is written here, carefully and delicately. So he was trying to go with his parents, but there was a gap. Okay, because their parents were just far away from him, and there was a gap. Actually there was a deep wide crack, okay, between him and his parents. So he just wanted to go with his parents. Okay, but he was helpless because he was not able to fly at all. Next, surely he could reach them without flying if he could only move northwards along the cliff face. But then on what could he walk? There was no edge, and he was not a fly, and above him he could see nothing. The precipice was sheer, and the top of it was perhaps farther away than the sea beneath him. So what happened next? He wanted to go to his parents, but there was a long gap, there was a deep crack, and the only option was to fly. If he was able to fly, then he will be able to reach to his parents. But as you know that the young seagull was not able to fly. He was hesitant, he was hopeless, and he was not having enough courage to get his first flight. Okay, so Next, he stepped slowly out of the brink of the ledge and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing, he closed one eye, then the other, and pretended to be falling asleep. Still they took no notice of him. He saw his two brothers and his sisters lying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk into their necks. His father was preening the feathers on his white back. Only his mother was looking at him. So in this paragraph, the seagull was, very much concerned, and he was very much, desperate. He wanted to eat something. He wanted to be with his parents, but what happened? There was no option. He just stepped slowly on the ledge, okay, and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing, okay. So he was standing with one leg only, and he was trying to attract the attention of his parents as well as his brothers and sisters, that he pretended to that he was falling. He pretended to be falling asleep. So he just wanted to attract the attention of those, okay. But still nobody noticed him. He saw his two brothers. They were lying on the plateau and they were dozing. Dozing means they were enjoying the sunshine, because they were on the other place with their heads sunk into their necks. So जैसे you might have seen the birds when they take rest, they hide their heads into their necks. So his father was preening. Preening means to clean the feathers. Birds, you might have seen that the birds clean their feathers using their beak. So his father was doing, and on his white back, only his mother was looking at him, okay. So it is here, okay. It is enough for today. We will do the other explanation, the next explanation in the next video. Okay, thank you very much.